Doing a real video this week. Yay! Okay, so while I was away, I started using two new free programs. I don't know if they're programs, they're kind of online things to help me edit. And I'm sure everyone has heard of the first one, ProWritingAid. Normally, when you hear about it, it's like, oh, sign up, it costs blah 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 a month, but they have a free version you could use. And that's what I've been using. Here I got my short story. Um, if you pay for it, you could actually integrate it into Scrivener and you could use it in Scrivener to change your stuff, but I don't wanna. So, this is what I do. I open up the web editor and I take what I want to do, copy that, and paste it right into here. So this one, real time, turn that on. There we go. Now it's going through the whole thing. Wow, okay, that's racking up. So it took about 10 seconds to go through this 3,600 word section. Found 85 issues. So this is the basic, like, scan level. And it'll find stuff like passives, and it'll suggest stronger adjectives, stuff like that. It's actually not a lot. Usually, I have a lot more issues. So what I like to do is, with this real time on, I'll read through it, and let me find something. Her stupid pink wooden floors with carpets chosen without any consideration other than a price tag, as opposed to her stupid pink wooden floors with carpets chosen with no consideration other than— that does sound better. That sounds okay. I like this one. I like this suggestion. So you find one, and if you don't care about like italics or stuff like that, you could just click accept that and it'll change it. But I care about italics because if you change all your stuff here in ProWritingAid and the web editor, and then you copy it and like paste it back into the Scrivener, you lose all of your formatting, like italics. You lose all of your italics. So what I do is I'll see this change and then I'll find it in my document and then just change it here. So with no. And then I just edit side by side like this. So I get all of the suggestions from ProWritingAid and I lose none of my formatting. So let me show you what happens if you actually do copy paste it back in. Control A, C, Control A. Look. You see how it instantly took out all of the indents? That's all gone. And also, all of my italics are gone. This isn't centered anymore. So don't do that. That's my advice. Don't do that. Just edit side by side. Or pay for it. But this is about not paying for it. So let's continue. Alright, so back to the top. Not all of these suggestions are good suggestions. For example, see this passive? It's telling you, try not to use it. Screw that. I like that passive. Keep it in. Where's another one here? Here's a bad suggestion. If you change this, this will be a bad sentence. So he was already in his dark gray dress uniform, so they really must be leaving soon. If you say must leave soon, it changes the meaning. It's not really what I wanted to say, so you could ignore that. This is a not necessary comma. I feel like someone will get mad at me for saying that, but screw that comma. I don't want that there. So we ignore that too. Here's a comma I should have. She's not though. That is a comma. There we go. See? Some are good, some are bad. Let me find that. Where the hell is that? She's not. So then I change it here. Boom. So that's the surface level stuff. Then there's other stuff like style. Now these are paid features. They only check the first 500 words. Now, what I've noticed with these ones is that a lot of them you could still use for your whole document. This one's a little more difficult to do because it doesn't have anything marked. But if you go to like grammar, never mind, it only found 3 things. Okay, let's go to thesaurus. Apparently this story was a lot better than I thought it was. Okay, we go to thesaurus. You see, it only does the first 500 words, but it also marks it up. So you can see exactly where that ends. Then you just like shift control home and delete that. And just click it again. And it'll keep on going. So combo check. Combo, it's a little more in-depth. Obviously, you can, just by looking at it, you can tell it's looking at more stuff. So this says it's a sticky sentence. And if you don't know what that is, you go to this little information thing and it tells you what it is. Basically, it's a hard to read sentence. And honestly, I agree, because I don't like the sentence too much. And every time I read through this thing, I look at it and I'm like, how can I fix it? Here's the thing. I don't hate that sentence as much as I hate this one, but it's telling me that this one is the worst sentence. So, you know, you gotta use your own judgment. Now, on to things that don't work for the 500 word minimum thing is all repeats. Because obviously, all repeats is looking at your whole document. But even though it's not as effective, you could still use it. I mean, it still checks stuff. So we're looking at the last thing here is echoes. Echoes is you have repeat a wow. Sorry, I just got shocked seeing this. Okay, so echoes shows you where you repeated words close together. I got a lot of them. Definitely got a lot of them. I didn't. So we got I did it in 3 times in this paragraph. Now, I do that on purpose sometimes. I did not do that on purpose here. So how would we fix that? It's true, I didn't really care about this house, and the few people at school I used to get along with all moved away. It's not really a great sentence. So, okay. This is the original paragraph. It's true, I didn't really care about this house, and the few people at school I used to get along with all moved away. The reason I didn't want a job that kept me away from home most of the year was because I didn't want to be like my parents. And that paragraph became, it's true, I couldn't care less about this house, and the few people I got along with all changed schools. The reason I didn't want a job that kept me away most of the year was because living that way made my parents miserable. Alright, so we could paste that right in, because I do like that better. Alright, so after I go through all this, and it's changed properly in Scrivener, or whatever you're using, and then I go to this, which is, what is this called? naturalreaders.com, and I listen to it. You don't know how much of a lifesaver this has been. I've found so many little typos and so many missing words with this. It's ridiculous. So we copy this. Now here's the thing. There's premium voices that you need like a paid subscription for, but there are free voices as well. And let's just be real. The premium voices you could still use for like 20 minutes, and that'll work for a short story. Ooh, okay, this is weird talking with headphones in. So you could paste it in. There's dyslexia font, which is actually very hard to read if you don't have dyslexia, so I'm turning it off. And you can make it bigger, you can make it smaller. It has a paste button, which I never use. It has a clear button. Alright, so now I just gotta listen until I find something I don't like.
My mother was standing arms folded in the middle of the downstairs kitchen, so she had a clear view all the way to the front door.
Okay. My mother was standing arms folded in the middle of the downstairs kitchen. That does sound like a weird sentence, doesn't it?
She motioned for me to... My mother was standing arms folded in the middle of the downstairs kitchen, so she had a clear view all the way to the front door. My mother was standing arms folded in the middle of the downstairs kitchen, positioned so she had a clear view of the front door. She motioned for me to come over before wandering out of sight. I dropped my bag next to the door as I stepped through.
Not totally in love with that, but I do like that better. So the natural readers is a little different than ProWritingAid. ProWritingAid, I usually don't make the changes in ProWritingAid. I make them directly in Scrivener because I have ADHD, and a lot of times I will make the change in ProWritingAid and then forget to change it in Scrivener. So I make my changes directly in Scrivener. However, natural readers, I make them in both, mostly because I want to hear it said again. And obviously you need to change it in the web browser if you want to hear it said again. So it's a little bit of a different thing, but by the time I get to natural readers, I've changed almost everything. So it's more cosmetic things and finding typos. Very rarely will I be changing massive things. So it's easier to remember to change in both places when using this. Basically, this is, good endgame self-editing. Obviously, if you want to do something professional with your writing, you're going to have to hire someone to professionally edit it. Professional. But this is good for, in my opinion, before sending it out to beta readers. Like, after you've done your developmental stuff and you're just looking for, structure and, making sure it flows a little better, this is excellent. I've been using this for my fanfic. It has tightened it up so much. So many things that I would have never seen. Alright, so that was my ProWritingAid / Natural Readers Online semi-advertisement. Does it really count as an advertisement if I'm showing you how to use it without paying for it? Yeah, it should be. But usually when you see stuff like this, it's an actual ad and it just talks about, oh, it's great, it could show you how to do all this stuff, but it doesn't actually show you the stuff that it could do. So I figured I would make that. And also, when people are like, oh, you should have a dictation thing, they just say that. And it's like, okay, how do I do that? So I figured I'd show it to you here. Look, naturalreaders.com/online. Play with all the voices. If you have a VPN, I feel like you can get past the 20-minute limitation, but I'm not. I didn't say that. I don't do that though because I really like Zira. That's my preference. I don't know why. I like very robotic sounding voices. Maybe that's just me. But maybe you like Rod. You could use Rod. I feel like 20 minutes of speaking is a lot of stuff. And I feel like it's 20 minutes a day, right? Is it 20 minutes a day? I think it's 20 minutes a day. So that's a good chunk of editing. And then you can just switch to a free person when you run out. So go for it. Anyway, I have to cook dinner now, so I gotta cut the short, and it's getting dark, and I'm pretty sure the lighting is completely different now than when the video started. So, see you next week. Bye. Here, oh, look at that. 0% in published writing? 0%. Really? Okay, what 2 sentences are you talking about? That's dialogue. I press X to doubt for that 0%. I have much doubt about that.